Shadow of Kraw, Episode 11 Ziplines and Thunderstorms. Presented by Raw 20.
A brief recap.
I love recaps.
Right?
Me too.
Same
A,
here.
a brief recap for you guys specifically. Like I had mentioned last time, you took this 20-year-old quest, which has like the highest tier difficulty that you can get in bronze. So in terms of like bronze level quests, it's like the SS of the bronze level quests, which is why even though adventurers have passed through, they're taking the more local jobs because people were just like, we're not going to take an SS level quest because you have to have a full on party to do that, and or you have to have like one or two silver adventurers in your party. So that's kind of like the reasoning here. But you guys are 4 people right now, even though Yorm is not interested in the adventurer stuff. He still wants to like
Yorm. Forgot about Yorm.
he still wants to adventure. He wants to like roam around and see the land and stuff like that. So
What is
for him,
Yorm wearing?
Yorm is wearing like wolf like pelts and stuff like that, and a pretty basic garb.
So he's
He
like
is-
Tarzan of the Pine Forest.
He looks like a barbarian,
Okay,
or he looks like a straight up Viking basically,
right.
with like the braids and everything. He doesn't come from this land, like he already told you guys. He comes from Hiftir Detta, which is Whitefall, which is what you guys would call it. He calls it Hiftir Detta, which is what they call it. You guys took this SS level bronze quest, which hasn't been touched in 20 years. It's got a 1,500 gold payout. There is a request for a specific item, and I'll give, if somebody wants an actual description of what it looks like, then I'll give it to you. But until then we'll just kind of like continue on because you are going to get information first, right?
Yeah,
All right.
that's the
So,
plan, I think.
hello everyone. I'm your DM for today, Tom Oliver, and I'm joined today by Alex,
Hello, I'm Athrin.
Jesse,
Maxius, thrower of ice knives.
and Clark.
Reee Eeek, wielder of Firestick.
So last time our adventurers left off in the Adventuring Guild in Cedar Village as it just took a very high tier bronze level quest, an SS level if you would, one of the hardest of the hardest, a quest that had been left alone for 20 plus years, or more specifically 21-ish years, and it had a whopping 1,500 gold reward. It was asking for them to go to the Forsaken Mountains to look for a specific artifact, and if they wish to do so, they could talk to 2 individuals who live by Lum Lake for additional information, or specific information in this case. So we leave off with our adventuring guild, our adventuring members leaving the adventuring guild, and they're literally stepping out into the street as the day is. Of course, it's sunny, clear day. What are the chances? Chances are 1 in something, but apparently. All right, so it's a very sunny, clear day outside. Sun's quite bright. The wind is calm, and
And
it's
we are led to believe that the people we are going to meet are at the house that we threw a rock at earlier.
not only did you throw a rock at their door, completely destroying it because it was a magically enforced rock, you haphazardly repaired it in such a way that it looks like it's fine, but it also kind of looks a little weird. Like, hey, did that really look like that?
Like, you're
It's
not
hard to
too
tell.
sure what happened to it, basically.
Like, you're not sure if it looked like that always and you just weren't paying attention to it, or if something actually happened to it. So off you guys go. I'm assuming you're going to go straight to Lum Lake to try and get some additional information, or is there something else you want to do before?
Yeah, I'm ready to go straight there.
Yeah.
As am I.
All right, so you guys proceed eastward, and then you hit the road which goes north. You go all the way north. Takes you about an hour of walking. You finally get to Lum Lake, and you approach the very same cabin that you guys had previously messed around with. This time, however, you can see that there's windows open. It looks like someone's home. And also attached to this cabin is kind of like a little dock. So there's like a single boat tied to this dock. So it's probably the same owners that use this to go fishing or whatever recreational activities they might do. Go, proceed.
All right, so I guess we approach it, and I'm just gonna knock on the door again, like last time. But I'm not gonna throw a magic stone at it this time.
Would you mind giving us a quick recap of what the quest said?
So the quest was asking for a party of adventurers to go to the Forsaken Mountains, more specifically a place called Mordolsa in the Forsaken Mountains, and recover an artifact in which, upon delivery, they would be paid 1,500 gold for retrieving. The artifact is described as a 2-inch long cylindrical item with 4 prongs at one end and a flat handle at the other end. Kind of looking similar to that of a key, but instead of having one side of teeth, it has 4 sides of teeth. If you kind of get what I'm saying.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I kind of don't.
Like you're saying, like one on each side, basically. Like instead of it just
Yeah.
sticking out one way, it's like 4 ways.
Exactly. So instead of
like,
it
like a cross.
Exactly. So where normally you'd have a key where you'd put it into a lock and turn one way, right?
Sure.
And that would unlock the mechanism. Instead of having that one specific side, it has 4 sides. And they're in the
So
cardinal
basically-
directions.
Okay.
Basically, the keyhole, instead of looking like a normal keyhole, would look like a cross.
Exactly.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Do you understand?
Okay, no, I thought like the key was looking like a shuriken, and there was like
No,
like
no,
a
no.
fork.
So-
Like
I mean, that would be cool too, but
So on the same cylindrical axis, okay, on that same axis there's 4 basically like key teeth, if you
right,
want.
right. Okay, okay.
But you have to think of old-fashioned keys rather than new age keys. Like, you remember the old-fashioned keys where they're like the teeth would be like really pronounced.
Yeah, yeah.
So think of that, but 4 times. It's just basically rotated 4 ways, 90 degrees each, and that's it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you knock on this door. How do you
Yeah.
knock? A single knock. Okay. So you do a single knock. It sounds like somebody heard you. You hear shuffling as someone's like coming to the door, and you can kind of hear like the windows are open. Who'll be there at this time of day? And the door opens, and lo and behold, it's a dwarf the same height as you, with a thick beard, black hair, and blue eyes, stubby but strong. And he looks you up and down, and he goes, "Oi, who are you? What do you want?"
I exclaim, "Brother, I haven't seen a dwarf in some time." And I try to give him a hug.
He steps back and he goes, "Oh, hold on there, brother. I've never seen a dwarf like you before. What you got there, horns
yes.
there?"
Yes, it's complicated. My mother wasn't exactly a dwarf, you see.
Your dwarf father got with a tiefling, was it?
He was a bit of a freak, I guess.
Aye, it's all right. All right, come. What are you here for?
We heard you might have some information on a curious artifact in the Forsaken Mountains.
Oh, you're taking our quest, are you? All right, come in. That's my quest you got there. I'll fill you in on some of the details. Hey,
Perfect. I follow him in.
he calls over to presumably another dwarf. Hey, Grosh, what do you want? Grosh, come over here. We got some adventurers taking our 20-year-old quest. Oh, all right. And this other dwarf looks very similar to the first one, and he just approaches. He's like, "What? Are you gonna be taking our quest for real?"
Yes, we're absolutely going to. And we're going to accomplish it as well. I can't believe no one's taken it until now.
And
Indeed.
he looks you all up and down, and he starts looking at Reek, and he goes, "He got there a goblin. Is that a goblin?"
Oh, don't mind him. He's a good chap.
It's a pleasure to
like-
make your acquaintance.
I
Wait,
smack
wait.
him on the. I smack Reek on the back, like,
Pushing him forward like he's a good chap.
Oh, we
As-
don't got no problems with goblins. We used to use goblins to blow up certain things in the mines. Ain't no problems here or there, lad. Just never seen a goblin come out of the mountains or the forests.
Yes, I'm not your usual goblin. I'm quite intelligent. I don't see my brethren as well. Brethren, they're not on my wavelength.
So
he does
Grosh,
still have a
like,
knack. He does still have a knack for blowing things up, though.
Oh yes, I do. This alchemy I possess.
Grosh, he like nudges his brother Grish. He goes, "Hey, Grish, you ever seen a goblin outside of the mountain?" No, never seen one there, Grosh. All right, come sit down, and you too, man. And he points at Atherin. What's your name?
You can call me Atherin. Nice to meet you. And I give a
What?
very eccentric bow.
Oi, what about the rest of ye?
I'm Mulmexius, and this is Reee Eeek.
Yes.
All right there, Atherin, Molmexius, and Reek. Come take a seat in the sofa. And he points you to the living room. It's very like normal place. Got normal furniture. There's a few fish on the table. Seems like they just caught some fish. They're gonna probably have that for dinner. Everything else is kind
Nice.
of like very plain, very basic. He sits you down and he sits across you, and he goes, "My name's Grish, and this here's my brother Grosh.
It's a pleasure to meet you both.
Oi, it's a
Indeed.
pleasure. Now listen here. I don't really care about that artifact no more. It's been 20 years. That there artifact that you're looking for is actually a key to a vault. And in that vault, there's a sigil. That there is the sigil of my family, my father. Now, if you can bring me that, I don't mind giving you the 1,500 gold, and you can even take whatever you want from the vault. It's been a long time, but me and my brother have never gone back to Mordosa. Now, let me tell you about Mordosa. Mordosa, well, it used to be a mining town for us dwarfs. Aye, it used to be a long time ago. Aye, Grosh, calm down now. Listen here. Mordosa, well, it fell into collapse a long time ago. But I gotta bring you back a little bit further. You see, me and Grosh here didn't come alone. We actually came with our father and our two other brothers. The mountain, which is called for the Forsaken Mountain, used to be called the Four Kin Mountain because there used to be four of us. Not quite sure if there's four of us anymore, but I'll tell you one thing. Our older brother kind of went a little bit crazy, and well, we had to leave. We left in with quite a rush and couldn't take anything with us. How do we explain to them this whole thing, Grish? I don't know, Grosh, but well, it started here. We're part of the Golgrin family. It's an old family, and we're a mining family. We've been there a while, and we've been doing it for a long time, and we're pretty good at it. We started a small encampment at the Four Kin Mountain. We started mining. We stuck a few good ores, some copper, some gold, and then eventually some silver. Eventually, more dwarves came as they were attracted to us, and our father led us all. But eventually, he passed away. And having four sons was a bit of a problem, you see. How do you divide up all that to four different kins? Wasn't that easy. So we set off on a little bit of a competition. Whoever can make the most money in the least amount of time will become the chieftain. There was me, Grish, and Grosh. We're the youngest of the four. Then there was Theodrum and Bardir, our older brothers. But Theodrum, he had a hunger in his eyes. He kept pushing deeper and deeper into the mountain. And well, he was fortunate. He struck a huge vein of gold. Eventually, we started trading at a crazy rate. We had trades going all over the province. And then one day, we're not quite sure what happened, but he found something in their minds. And then he started pulling away from everyone, from everything. Eventually, he didn't want to trade with anyone no more. And because he had been acknowledged, he was the chieftain. So he had no choice but to follow. But I tell you what, our clansmen got mad. Mighty mad. With no trade, it meant no money. And with no money, well, you know what that leads to. A wee bit of a rebellion. Before the fighting started, me and my brother here decided to get out. But Thorgrim, he was crazy. He blew up the bridge, leaving outwards. If it wasn't for our intuitiveness and our knowledge of the land, we wouldn't have even been able to get away. The night we left, half of Mordosa was in flames. It seemed that our other brother wanted to take the so-called crown for himself. And we're not quite sure what happened after that. We didn't really try to go back, especially with the bridge being blown out and all. But I warn you, whatever is there now is probably not too friendly. We've already had one person go there, a kind of private contract, not really a quest, and that person never came back. Now, I'll tell you one thing. You seem like nice folk, and you kind of seem strong. But it's a 5 days ride all the way there. Well, not really a ride. A fast walking pace will do just fine. And that's only because you have to deviate to the north to get to the other bridge, because the bridge is blown up. But I'll tell you something. If you go a little bit to the south, you'll find yourself a zipline. That's what me and Grish over here use to get over the river. If you could take that zipline, it'll only take you about 3 days instead of 5. But I warn you, that there zipline, it's old. It's been there for over 20 years. I would check it very well before you use it. Now, my father's sigil is pretty basic. You'll see it. It's just a circular panel with 2 mining axes on it. Now, what say you? You still gonna go over there?
Yes, I think we will. And the zip line, it sounds quite fun. But once we get there, where are we to find this 4-pronged key that we need to open the vault?
Well, I couldn't say for sure. I'd have to think that my brother put it somewhere. But the town itself will definitely won't be there. When you look at Mordosa, you'll see there's a huge carving of the face of our father on the mountainside. At his mouth, there are 2 heavy iron doors that lead to a hall. That hall was owned by Theodore. Probably somewhere in there you'll find the key. And also the vault. Alright? Couldn't tell you more than that.
All right then. We appreciate all the information.
Yes, thank you.
We thank you kindly.
Well, if you come back alive, I'll treat you to a pint. See you later.
Sounds
And
lovely.
he brings you guys to the door.
Before
Yeah,
leaving,
man.
give another bow.
He gives an awkward bow back.
All right. So I think we ought to make our way down there. Sounds like a long way to go.
Should
Yes.
we head to the zip line? Because I'm worried that once we get there, and if it is too old, we'd have to backtrack really far to get back.
Atherin, I really want to do the zip line.
I can see the glint in your eyes, Reek.
Yes.
Yorm
Well.
is standing like beside Reek and he's smiling. He's like, I also want to do the zip line.
Yes.
Then I
Well,
guess it's
I'd be
settled.
lying if I said I didn't want to try the zip line.
Zip line it is.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys start traveling over, and as you start walking, you're making your way on eastward towards the Forsaken Mountains. It starts raining, but it's still sunny out, so it's another one of those rainbow type situations.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Pleasant start to your journey.
Another sun shower.
Refreshing.
So the first
Another
day.
golden shower.
Oh God.
Oh dear.
So the first day of traveling. So today is the first day of traveling. All right. Wow, talk about getting lucky. So on the first day of traveling, you're making your way eastward and you're following the road, and somehow you find this trail. You start following this trail against all instincts for some reason. Molmexius is leading the way. He's like, "Yeah, come this way." Like I know the forest, and you actually get a full days ahead of what normally
Ooh.
take. So instead of taking 2 days or 2 days to get to the river where the bridge was, it actually takes you only a day. So lucky for you. Um,
To the
It's my
zipline,
druid
right?
intuition.
You really did know the forest.
so you get to this river and it's all you see this big, big bridge. But about a quarter of the way into the river, you see it's just completely demolished, splintered. There's some posts that are still standing in the river, but many of them aren't. Um, there's like another section like halfway through that's still intact a bit, but then it breaks off once again. And then you can see at the other end of the river, there's another portion which is intact, but it's once again broken off. So several of these pieces of this bridge have just been completely destroyed, and you can tell like there's been an explosion here or multiple. It's breaking into nighttime at this point, so you guys are gonna camp out, and you're also gonna chow down on your rations that you got. So everyone's gonna get nice and fed, and we're gonna move on to the next traveling day.
Sounds perfect.
Mhm.
All right.
So you guys, this is the next traveling day. It's starting to thunderstorm, so already not a great start to this day.
It happens.
Lightning is striking from the sky. It's raining heavily. Do you decide to go north and try to take the proper bridge, or are you all really dead set on trying to take the zip line?
I think we
Oh,
are.
I think I want to take the zip line.
So you guys start heading south. It doesn't take you too long until you see this basically a zip line that has been attached from one side of the river to the end. And as you look across the river, though, you can tell like the river is like 100 plus feet. It's a big river. It's a big distance to cross. The zip line itself is high up in a tree. Who is gonna climb to inspect it, or are you all just gonna try and like climb?
I'll climb.
Um. Yeah, let Reek go up.
Great, Reek. So just roll. I guess it would be in athletics at this point. See just how well you climb this tree.
Hmm. I'm
Are
better
we
in
looking
dex.
down on the river, or are we like level with the river?
Right now,
Yeah.
you're not level with the river. The river dips in. So like you're in terms of elevation, you're highly above. Like you're a little bit above it. Then it dips directly down and it goes into the river.
It's like a cliff kind of, or like a
Kind of.
steep hill.
Like a
Okay.
very like it just like cliffs off basically, and it goes like 10-ish feet and then it drops into the river.
Okay.
Shouldn't it be some sort of dexterity checks, such as acrobatics?
I believe it's athletics whenever you're trying to climb something.
Okay. 7.
Oh,
That's a good start.
Yeah, you climb up,
Oh, nice.
but at a very slow pace. Like you're not used to climbing trees.
I mean, it is wet.
Yeah.
Everyone's
That's
just
true.
like sitting there watching you as you're climbing this, and they
You can
visibly
do
tell-
it, Reek.
As I get the next branch.
So you climb up. I'd like you to roll an investigation to check out this zip line.
Before he does that, I'm going to twirl around and cast Bless on him.
Okay.
Perfect. So that does that give me an extra D4, or do I decide when I want to use it?
D4 is guidance, I believe. I think Bless is advantage. I'm
Oh.
gonna double check. Bless.
Well, I
Either
got
way-
21.
Yeah. Either way, you're good. You inspect
yeah.
this zip line. It still looks pretty well intact, actually. As you like string this, as you like touch the string and you pull on it a bit, test the tension and everything. Everything seems to be pretty good, especially considering that it's over 20 years old. You could tell, however, I said string, but it's actually this metal string. So it's like more like a cable than anything else. You can see that it's attached to one end of this tree, and it looks like it goes all the way down to the another end of where presumably it's attached to another tree.
All right, so I take out my hempen rope and I tie it to the branch so that it's easier for other people to get up.
I'd like you to make not for that. You're able to do that, and everyone else can pretty much climb up without a problem. But I'd like you to make a perception check.
I get a 5.
Oh, that's right.
So-
Your rolls.
You don't really see.
wait,
any-
I can add a D4, right? Because I didn't use the bless.
Yeah.
You
Well, you
can-
have it for a minute, I think.
I'll add it, I guess. No, actually, I won't. I might use it for something else, actually.
All right, so you're just looking around. You don't really see anything out of the ordinary as your friends start to climb up, all without any issue because you've put this rope down for them. Do you collect your rope before you leave, or do you?
Well, so the way Reek sees it is we still need some sort of a way to like zip on this zip line. Right.
Indeed, you do.
So after putting the rope down, Reek will take his extra shield out of his bag, the one that he's been using the chalkboard on the reverse side to draw circles,
Mhm.
and he's going to take the chalkboard out, and he's going to use the metal of that shield to try and create basically hooks with a handle.
All right, so you're able to do so, but I want to know how well they come out. So roll a intelligence check.
All right.
And now that you're level 4, you can add your proficiency to that as well.
All right, and I'm also going to add Byron's bless, so the D4.
Great. Perfect. So these things look
26.
like they look like they're professionally made for this, pretty much. They're completely designed with this intention in mind. You make a sufficient amount for all of your party members. Who will be the first to go?
I'll go first.
Oh, okay.
All right.
If I fall into the water, I can just turn into a snake and swim to the other side.
Very well.
So I'm
Alright.
gonna go ahead and try first.
So as you hook up to this thing and you start basically zipping across, I'd like you to make a strength check, please.
Yes. All right. Strength. I got not much.
See if you can hang on.
Hey,
Great.
16.
Yeah, it's fine. You zip all the way across to the other side without any issue whatsoever.
Halfway
However-
across, you just hear me yell in the distance. I think it's safe.
However, halfway across, as you're yelling, I think it's safe. You can see that there's like 2 other zipline things attached to it, and you're like smack into that, but you just bring it all the way onto the other side,
Oh, nice.
and then that's it. Who's next
What
up
is
to go?
What does it look like where I land? Do I land like on another tree, or does it?
You basically smack into another tree if you don't stop yourself properly. It's just literally a tree branch. That's like it's
Alright,
positioned on a tree branch, but basically like it's just attached to another tree.
Okay, but
Awesome.
how did he stop himself? He
I'm
said if you
assuming
don't stop yourself properly, how did he?
Yeah. Do you want me to roll to see if I run into the tree branch or if I?
I mean you
It,
rolled
like,
a
slow
sufficient you rolled a sufficient strength to like basically
Okay, great, good. So I got to the other
Okay.
side pretty expertly.
I'm worried, but I guess I'll go next.
So go ahead, zip across and roll a strength check.
Okay. That
I try to start climbing down the tree just to make sure he doesn't run into me when he comes.
a 14.
14. Yeah,
Yeah.
great. You also zip across, and it's not a problem. You know, it's raining and everything outside, but you're still all right. However, halfway across, like, a thunderbolt comes down and strikes, luckily, a tree, and not the line.
Oh dear.
You got to remember it's thunderstorming out. Reek. before you go, Yorm turns to you and he goes, "You want me to carry you?"
Oh, yeah. Yes, please.
All right, all right. And he picks you up with one arm, like easily, and he just holds you close to his chest. He puts his other arm on the thing, on the zip line, and he just starts zipping across. And yeah, he's fine. He has ample strength not only to carry you, but also to zip across. What a monster.
Wow.
However, let's see. Oof. As you guys are going, just getting to the end, a lightning bolt strikes the line.
Oh no.
That's not good.
Oh no.
You're 3/4 of the way, and a lightning bolt strikes the line. I'd like you to both roll a con check to see if you're able to resist this. Hold on. Wow, he's fine.
By the way, did I have to roll to see if I hit the tree, or am I good?
You're good if you pass the sufficient strength check. You just
Okay.
kind of stop with your feet on the tree.
I rolled
What
a
did you get?
7.
You rolled a 7.
But also,
thing-
I'm not directly connected to the wire, right? So
It's not that. It was a combined con check for
Okay.
you and Yorm. So he
Okay.
had sufficient amount to kind of carry you through it. So even though he's shocked, he's still like holding on to you tight. He does take some damage though, unfortunately for him.
Nerve damage.
Presumably, I mean, when you get struck by lightning, what kind of damage is it if it's not nerve damage? And you unfortunately, because of this, you guys smack into the tree, and hopefully nobody else is waiting on the other side.
Well, I had already climbed down before Atherin even came over, so.
Did you climb down after it?
That's a very good question. I don't think I said anything, so I'll take that as a no.
All right, I'd like you to make a dex save to see if this combination Reek Yorm hurling towards you at full speed while being struck by lightning is gonna hit you or not.
Definitely not, because I have too much dex. It was a base 19.
Okay, yeah, you nimbly jump out of the way onto another branch and just start like branch jumping down, and you land right next to Molmexius like an acrobat.
Hey, that was impressive.
Well,
Just
thank
like
you.
your handstands.
It really
I tried
was.
to do a handstand. All right.
In the rain.
It reminded me that I have to practice. 17.
You're getting much better. Like you managed to do it. You're actually like able
Look.
to hold it up.
I'm like yelling at Reek. I'm like, Reek, look, I'm doing it.
I start-
Reek,
as I'm hurling into the tree.
Yes.
so Reek, your face just like smack in the middle of the tree, and Yorm falls straight off. Not managing to grab a branch on their way down, so he takes full gravity damage.
I see him upside down land and I get out of my handstand. Oh shit, are you all right?
Yeah, so you're doing your handstand and you're kind of like masterfully done, and he lands flat on like on his face next to you, just like planted in the ground, and then Reek is just like face planted into the tree, but at the top. Unfortunately for him, he didn't fall. You just kind of like take 5 damage.
At this point, I'm just clinging onto the tree, like hugging it. Just.
Are
Yeah.
you okay?
Yeah. Yes, I think. My grip loosens a bit from the tree, and I try and start and make my way down. Yom, are you okay?
Yorm gets up and his face is like swollen and bloody, and he also has like that lightning strike kind of like pattern on his forearm and back and stuff because he got struck by lightning basically. And he just looks at you and he smiles and goes, "Let's do it again."
That's the spirit, Yorm.
A mighty fighter you are.
But I don't think we have time. We should really make our way to the mountains.